Hi, in this lecture I'm going to discuss strategies for developing support in the body paragraphs of the paper that you are drafting. Paper number one, why do I or should I work? Support comes in a lot of different forms. As a writer, you want to have a big bag of tricks that you choose from when you write support for your ideas. Here's just a few things from the list. You can look those over and see that there's a lot of different ways to say, here's material that I think explains, supports, defends the claim I made in my topic sentence. But for us, in paper number one, we're going to focus on two specific forms of support. Later, when you move on to the research paper and third paper, you're going to have a lot more freedom to explore different types of and approaches to support and different kinds of reasoning to develop that support. But for the first paper, so that we develop the art of explaining an idea in detail with a narrow focus on a specific example, we're going to use personal experiences from work and a dialogue with a course reading as the way we support our claims in our topic sentences. So let's jump right in and look at an example. This is actually a paragraph from the new sample essay that I provided to you this week. So you now have two sample essays to work with. And we can see, looking at this, that the first sentence is the topic sentence. It tells about a specific experience cooking burgers at a restaurant called the Choo Choo Train. That's a crazy name. And it connects that experience to a reason for work. I want to work with other people. I should always work with other people. And the verb that makes that connection is an active verb, demonstrates. We've talked about topic sentences and claim sentences before, so I'm not going to dig into that. What I want to look at is what follows that, which is a detailed snapshot of an experience that the writer has had in a workplace. And you can notice as you're reading it that there's striking sensory details: the greasy grill spitting fireballs, the 180-degree turn in cramped quarters, the postage stamp size burgers. And then the emphasis of the part of this experience that connects to the reason that the writer's talking about, this sense of disconnection from any human beings, only hearing off in the distance the cashier's remote voice and feeling more like a machine than a person. So the details here are striking. They accentuate the sense of alienation, the need for connection that the writer wants. In general, I would say this is a excuse me, very solid look at a personal experience that supports an argument. But we also want to, because in this course we're so committed to joining the larger conversation, connect our paragraph with a reading. And in this case, you can see that the writer turns to something from Latham's, a quote from Moby Dick. And there's a really cool passage about Moby Dick that I think we read the week after next, and has a dialogue with this passage from Lapham's from Moby Dick. And there's some interesting things here. One, the quote is nicely set up. It's not a tiny quote. It's not just a word or two, but it's also not two or three sentences. There's a clear in-text citation at the end, that number 49 in parentheses. But most importantly, after presenting the quote, and really a sentence and a half is spent just setting it up, the quote is then integrated using parentheses and a citation, but the really important work comes after. And what's really impressive about this dialogue with a reading is how it spends three or four sentences explaining and interpreting that quote it presented. Now that's more maybe than you're going to really ever need to do, and that's why I wanted to share this example with you, because I think it shows how deeply you can dig if you really push yourself to develop your thinking and your support for your claim or argument in your topic sentence. So So let's look at the big picture here. If we were going to sort of color code this paragraph, the red would be the claim or topic sentence, the blue would be the discussion of a personal experience, and the orange would be a discussion of the reading, some dialogue with a passage from a reading that was relevant here. Now, the flow here could be very different. For example, most of the paragraph could have been blue and there could have been less of the orange, or there could have been a more complex explanation of the scene itself or the sense of isolation that the writer experiences. In fact, if I recall, one of the critiques from his classmates is they'd like to know a little bit more about the isolation and hear a little bit less about Moby Dick, and I think that's a good critique of this paragraph. You also have the possibility of making this two paragraphs. If you feel you have that much you want to say about a reading, you could actually expand the discussion of the personal experience a bit and break the discussion off of the reading into a second paragraph. And that would be another cool way to think about developing this paper. So hopefully in this brief set of slides and this study of one particular body paragraph, I've got your thinking moving forward on how to support a claim or topic sentence in a body paragraph. And now you have some ideas on how to move forward with your own draft. Thanks for your attention. Bye.